great good morning, everyone. It is a beautiful Wednesday, November 12, 2025. My Cordaro Jeweler's watch tells me it is 9:08 and change. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he, broadcasting today from the United States of America. I could prove it because we're going to be operating our government again. It's also the place where the brave, like the veterans we salute today, thanks to John Basiliga and his great restaurant, the #1 fine dining restaurant in Northeast Pennsylvania, Terra 519, where 10% of the receipts tonight will be going to charity. And those veterans lost this year, but celebrated today thanks to John, August Walzer, Orfield, Curtis Fratamico, West Scranton, and Norton Greening, Voorhees, New Jersey, formerly of Scranton. The United States of America, the country where, for the first time in human history, yes, I lost my place on my script, where the founding fathers are incredible, amazing, irreplaceable founding fathers, understood that government could not be, should not be, and would not be our parent, our guide, our direction, our salvation. Not any of these things. But the government should be nothing more than necessary evil we require to organize and protect society. The United States of America, the country where, for the first time in human history, freedom was declared to be an unalienable right granted to each individual by God. Freedom couldn't be parceled out to groups. It couldn't be controlled by government or government officials because our great American Constitution ensures and codifies freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of association, economic freedom, and freedom of the press, no matter what they do with it. Now, armed with these freedoms, and only because they had them, a ragtag bunch of immigrants, rejects, and their progeny created the richest, most powerful, most culturally diverse and accepting nation ever to grace our planet Earth. America, the only place specifically invented and designed so that every American can live their life in the manner they choose, unlimited by their background, upbringing, race, color, or creed, unhindered by the government or those who would use government to control others for their own comfort, benefit, or power. This Bob Cordaro Show, well, it'll always be convincingly conservative, lovingly logical, proudly and passionately patriotic. And so, because of our commitment to common sense, we can gavel to order this meeting of the Club for Common Sense, ensuring that that commitment will provide a sanctuary of sanity for all of you for the balance of the morning when so many are out there with Trump derangement syndrome. I was just talking to Nancy, Exhibit A, and they're just telling you lies. It's astonishing. Absolutely astonishing. I listen and I watch and observe, and I cannot believe what I hear out of people, and that it doesn't get, in most cases, it doesn't get any kind of resistance from the media or others. Like, well, wait a minute, what are you talking about? Did you hear Obama? Did you hear Obama about Obamacare? Every marker that was put out, that was laid out for Obamacare, it has failed to achieve. In fact, has done the exact opposite. It's insane. And yet Obama will come and try to, maybe that's why most people do not listen to him. When he comes and campaigns or does whatever, it's insane. Now, a lot of people, and with justification, have complained Well, wait, what have the Republicans done about health care? I've got my own health care plan, which I did since 1985. I think it's the only thing that makes sense. And that is we get rid of Medicare and Medicaid. And the government pays according to need only, not according to age, according to need only. The government pays private health insurance premiums in whole or in part, depending on income, and everyone will have the same private health insurance. Not the same company, the same options. Now, they're going to, and I hope they get close to that, they're going to have a, I guess they're calling a MAHA summit, Make America Healthy Again. But this is, I should say, Make America Covered Again. It could be a MACA summit. And I made note of a couple of things. It's fascinating. You watch what these people do. And the government shutdown, what did it prove? It's supposed to end at about 4 o'clock today. Now, I'm told, and we'll find out if it's reliable, and I'm told that Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's, she's just in her own lane, she is going to vote for reopening the government. But Massey, who I don't have any use for him. I really don't. It's not like a principled Rand Paul thing, which I love Rand Paul, even when I disagree with him. And it's just crazy. But the government shutdown, if it proved anything, it proved there's too much government. There's too much government involvement in our daily lives. And by the way, that was just the federal government. There's too much. And one of the most telling disasters, which was going to get worse and worse, and still is going to get worse before it gets better, was the air traffic control system. They were not coming to work anymore. They were not performing. I can't blame them. How would you like to? Well, okay, you're gonna go into this high stress job, and guess what? You're gonna have more stress when you go home because you can't pay your bills. So the Democrat filibuster, the Schumer shutdown, was a disgrace. And I played the clips of Schumer, of Jeffries, of Obama, everybody saying that's not the way to disagree on policy. But unfortunately, we have a Democrat Party today where a clown, and I mean a circus clown, by the name of Zoran Mandani, a liar, a phony, an incompetent, has just been elected mayor of our largest city. And he perfectly voices the thoroughly discredited beliefs and policies of the left. He's actually ideal. But getting back to the transportation system, Pete Buttigieg is just a little worm, an incompetent worm. He was in charge of the transportation department for 4 years. You remember? This tells you everything. Do you remember when he took the ride in, and when he got a block away from his office, they pulled the bike out of the back, and he rode the bike into the office? It tells you everything you need to know about this fool. Well, he's complaining about transportation and the shutdowns effect, particularly on airlines. He's the guy who spent $80 to $90 billion on DEI programs instead of on new computer systems for traffic control, air traffic control. You can't make up how awful these people are. You can't exaggerate how awful they are. And Chuck Schumer, holy cow, here's a phony exposed. A disgusting phony exposed and now hated by normal people and the lunatic left. Love it. Absolutely love it. Hoist on his own petard. And I got to say this. Guys they've been reprehensible in the past with statements and beliefs and votes and policies. A guy like Dick Durbin, though, he's retiring. Fine. And that probably gave him the courage to be normal for one flash. But 8 guys, and I got to give our guy Fetterman credit, I will never vote for him. I promise you. Because I think he's disgraceful walking around with his hoodies and that silly teenager act. And I also know he's a left-winger, and I know what he votes for. Left-wing lunacy. But his statements and his stand is to be lauded. He stood against the lunatic left of his party. The Trump derangement syndrome gang in his political party. So you had a total of 8 Democrats. Good for them. They did the right thing. Government will reopen. The damage is done, but is recoverable. And we'll see what happens. This afternoon, I guess the vote's supposed to be about 4 o'clock in the House. And then it could immediately go to the president. And we'll start reopening the government, start paying people, SNAP benefits, all that. So Rob O'Donnell will let you know during his show what happens. We're going to take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. Hope you had a great Veterans Day. We're going to be playing veterans, still doing tributes to veterans, obviously, as we do every day, not just November 11th. But we're going to be playing our patriotic music and all of that. So we'll be back. Lee Greenwood and that amazing anthem. Bob Cordaro back. Hope you enjoyed your Veterans Day and hope you thought about the amazing contributions our veterans have made. And one of the reasons we do the Veterans Tribute, and thank you, as always, to John Basiliga and his companies, you read about their lives and what they did after they served us in the military. And it's amazing. They really are and have been everything to the cohesiveness, to the strength, all of the things that our society needs. They're the fabric of our lives. They truly are. So somebody texted in, let's see here. You need to stop lying and you Limbaugh wannabe. Let's see. I let Barack Obama show you about Obamacare's failures. He laid out the markers, not me. He said what it was going to do, not me. Do you see the emotional, idiotic response of the left wing? It doesn't make any sense. I don't know why they don't want to make any sense. Why do you not want this to make sense? Why do you not want to call somebody out because he's on your team? It's quite amazing. It's scary, actually, that someone would, and no, people aren't dumb. People are blessed with various gifts of intellect and at various levels. But there's nobody, I truly believe this, there's nobody that is dumb. But they certainly act dumb. And that's actually scarier. If you could say, well, he's just dumb. He can't, okay. There's not many people could fit in that category, but okay. But if they're willfully dumb, you've got to say, man, that's scary. Because they act against their own self-interest. There's really nothing you can do with them. And right now, this is 20% plus of the country. What can you do with them? You got to love them and move on. And just steamroll right over them politically. Because they're too stupid to be anywhere near the controls. But who's electing Jasmine Crockett? Who's electing AOC? Who's electing Bernie Sanders? Who voted for Joe Biden? Who voted for Kamala Harris? There's something seriously wrong in the body politic. And they just make it up and they just lie, and then they're happy to be lied to. What is that? I don't understand it. Somebody texts in, Bob, you don't really think that Republicans are going to negotiate the ACA subsidies, do you? Yeah, I do. People's health care premiums are going to skyrocket. But wait a minute. It's because of Obamacare. It's not because of Republicans. The Biden administration got away with covering up for Obamacare's failures under the guise of COVID. Think about it. What would COVID have to do with your health insurance premiums? What would it have to do with them? Zero. What did have to do with them? That Obamacare's failure was becoming so obvious, so patent, that they had to cover it up. Now, here's the funnier part. Those Democrats voted with a sunset, meaning the subsidies ended. They voted for it. Not one Republican voted for it. The Democrats voted for it to end. But somehow the Republicans get the blame for these subsidies ending. Now, by the way, the reason the Republicans are going to negotiate is because they're afraid of the political backlash. And some of them don't have the guts, and probably enough of them don't have the guts to call this out just as I'm doing now and say, look, Obamacare failed. That's why I hope the summit the president's conducting today at the White House comes up with a solution. Because Obamacare has screwed up health insurance costs, health insurance deductibles. By the way, anybody who has a private plan knows it. And guess why? Your deductibles have gone up, your premiums have gone up, your copays have gone up because of Obamacare. Healthcare costs have gone up because of Obamacare, because of government involvement in the whole system. Government's dominant involvement in the whole system. Period. That's the fact. And Obama either lied or was too dumb to know what he was promising that we ran at the beginning of the program. Maybe I got to run that every day. I might have to run that every day to show people, wait a minute, the guy who lied to you, or Obamacare failed, or both. Or as we sometimes say in Dunmore, both. It's crazy. And people are going to complain. Amazing. All right, we're going to take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We will return. We've got a Veterans Tribute. Our Veterans Tribute this day and every day, this hour and every hour. Brought to you by our friend John Basiliga and Basiliga Hospitality. Hey, if you're not doing anything tonight, and I've bragged about this place forever, this Atera 519, downtown Scranton, fancy night out for a good cause. Tonight, Feed a Friend night at Atera 519. 10% of every check supports United Neighborhood Services Feed a Friend program, which helps to feed 1,800 families with children this Thanksgiving. Atera 519 tonight, and 10% of your bill goes to UNC and families that need on Thanksgiving. August Walzer the Fourth. He was 87 when he passed on October 29th. He celebrated 67 years of marriage just this September 25th. Born in Scranton, devoted member of St. Joseph the Worker Catholic Church in Orfield. He was a graduate of Dunmore High School. He was a U.S. Marine Corps veteran and a former Cub Scout master. August was a branch manager for Pennsylvania Industrial in Boyertown. He had previously worked for Ransom Lift, also as a branch manager in the Wilkes-Barre and Allentown locations. He loved to hunt. He loved to fish. His wife, his children, his grandchildren, his great-grandchildren, and many other family members survive him. August Walzer the Fourth. Our veteran this hour, brought to you by John Basiliga and Atera 519. Feed a Friend night at Atera 519 tonight. Storm Tracker 16 forecast from meteorologist Allie Gallo. Today, cloudy with a few snow and rain showers, 44. Tonight, partly cloudy, 35. Thursday, some clouds and sprinkles in the morning, then sun in the afternoon, up to 46. Friday, partly sunny, and it's supposed to be about 48 degrees. There's your deal. Bob Cordaro back with you on WILK on the program. And, guys, this healthcare subsidy, and again, you've got to remember and you've got to face the fact the entire Democrat Party, its leadership, its agenda, its policies are based on lies. It's based on the lies that government control of anything produces benefits. That's the most basic lie. I'm with the government and I'm here to help. They did a study, and a lot of people who have racist inclinations want to say, well, it's a city and it's the black people. Well, they did a study in Baltimore City, and then they went into the country, into the sticks in West Virginia, I believe. After all of the poverty programs and the Great Society and all decades later, they found the same disaster in rural and white, urban and minority. The same disaster from government programs. Broken families, poverty, massive drug abuse, crime, all of it. Their programs don't work. They're all based on lies. Yes, thank you. Somebody wrote this in. You have one journalist, and I saw a clip of this, kissing Jasmine Crockett's feet because Jasmine is supposedly for the people. And Jazz was the one who spent $75,000 so far just this year on luxury hotels. She's for the people. Somebody points out, and this is so sadly true, the candidates leading the Democrat Party now are not serious people with any type of meaningful accomplishments or life experiences outside the bubble of either academia or government. Look at the list. Mamdani, Crockett, AOC, Bernie, Newsom, a clown show with a record of failure. Yep, you nailed it. I wish you gave us not your name. We actually like nicknames. Bob, now the Republicans are going to be forced to deliver a health care plan. Can't wait to see Trump care. Well, he's already told you what it is that the money goes to the people. And then they pay their health insurance premiums. That's the concept. Hey, a lot of details to be worked out, but that's the concept. And it's a good one. I think mine's better. But Obamacare and the $400 billion the Democrats shut the government down for, Senate Democrats, and that the House Democrats all voted for by voting against keeping the government open, was to send $400 billion to insurance companies so they would keep up the facade that these exchanges and Obamacare itself was working. So $400 billion cover-up on top of the cover-up that was passed by all Democrats during the Biden administration. You can't make up what fools these are. So when you're a fool about basic things like, is Obamacare working? And by the way, a lot of people say, well, I don't care because it's making things cheaper for me. I don't care if it works. Just keep pumping the money in. Well, sorry. Someone's got to take away the fake punch bowl. Go to the table. What do you have to tell your kids? No. You're not getting dessert until you eat dinner. I remember we had liver nights when I was a kid. Oh, my God, it even smelled. By the way, I like it now. And we would just sit there, and you'd try to cover it with mashed potatoes and ketchup. But we were not leaving the table till we finished the liver, period. That's it. Somebody's got to tell you the truth. Someone has to enforce the truth, fact, and reality against the insane left which owns the Democrat Party. You know, somebody says, geez, I wish I had $75K just to live. Jasmine Crockett, it's a scam for these people. Government service, put it in blanks. They got paid every step of the way. Oh, Joe Biden, he dedicated his life to others. This slimebag, scumbag did nothing of the sort. He needed the prestige. He needed the recognition for his sick little brain. And then he sold the office consistently as a senator, and then he went into overdrive as vice president. Dear God, public service. Holy cow. Don't give me that. That's what they chose to do. By the way, they're not social workers. Now that you show me a majority of them, and I'll say there's somebody serving the public who could do better financially. There's somebody serving individuals. You look at United Neighborhood Centers. You look at the United Way. Go through these great charities and say, well, there it is. There's public service. Don't give me a politician. Please do not give it to me. I don't want to hear it because you're wrong. All right, we got to take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We'll be back. Nice. Trace Atkins, still a soldier. On this Veterans Day week. Bob Cordaro with you on WILK. Somebody texted in. My wife just brought something to my attention. Every day is like Festivus for you. You get to air your grievances. LTS. Well, I mean, they're justifiable grievances, much more than George Costanza's father. The airing of grievances. Yes. That's what the show is, I guess, right? That's that. You made me laugh out loud. I don't say LOL. I actually laugh out loud, or I don't. One or the other. But you made me laugh out loud. Somebody said, texted in, it's funny how socialists want the government to do everything and then don't know what to do when the government can't feed them. Like SNAP. Yeah, I know. I know. Somebody texts in about Trump. Hey, remember, Trump says a lot of things. And I used to find it irritating. I don't anymore. I just let him do it. Let him think out loud. That's fine by me. But he says someone says Trump is giving us. Well, he's said he wants to give $2,000. I don't know if it was to each family, each person, whatever, from the tariff money collected. Just curious, though, do you think he's going to send that and the $5,000 from Doge that he promised us together? He just says things. And by the way, and I don't want any of that. The government is in hock beyond its eyeballs. Period. They're not going to give any money back to any taxpayers. We're going to have reasonable tax rates, corporate and individual. The country will prosper. We have to still cut government by 50%, in my view. Then we'll find out where to cut. That's what we need to do. It's really ridiculous. And we have inside this government, we have, sadly, frighteningly, left-wingers who hate the people of the United States and the country and its concepts as it was founded. We just elected one of those haters as mayor of New York. Now, you could go through the squad. I mean, you want to talk, let's talk about actual dumb. I was saying before there aren't any actual dumb people. Well, I'm sorry. I think there are. I've got to retract part of that statement. Please don't tell me Bernie Sanders is not the dumbest person on the planet. I want you to listen to him speak. And by the way, eloquence is not an indication of intelligence. Virtually everything Bernie Sanders espouses is based on lies. Does that make him dumb? Yes, it does. AOC, Crockett, the leadership of the Democrat Party, they're actually dumb. Now, are you willfully stupid? Or are you doing it for a purpose? It doesn't matter. Mostly they're doing it for selfish purposes. These people have zero self-awareness. They have no relationship with fact, truth, or reality. Ask Bernie Sanders, what socialist, communist system has worked for the people in history? Ask him. Nobody ever asks him that. They just let him spout off about gibberish. And all of his adherents are either willfully stupid or stupid. Now, what's the difference? Seriously. What is the difference? To us, they're both equally damaging. Now, I was really talking in reference to their followers, their adherents, the people who say, oh, Bernie's great, dumb or willfully dumb. So they vote that way. They go to, I was listening to the morning show on the way in, waiting for the weather, and they're talking about the Kyle Rittenhouse thing. He's coming into town. This is the kid who went to defend his cousin's business, his cousin's place of business during the BLM riots, summer of 2020. And these people attacked him and they were beating him, and he used the gun he had. Now, was the people who got shot, were they willfully stupid, not only for being there, because they were based on a lie, these protests, but they were so ignorant of facts, truth, and reality that they were beating on a guy with an AR-15. Again, completely divorced from fact, truth, and reality. And Rittenhouse had to shoot him so they wouldn't get killed. And in the climate of the day, he was found not guilty by reason of self-defense. It was clearly self-defense. All you do is watch. So is the kid a hero? No, but he's a symbol. He's a symbol. And an important one. That sometimes, even in the midst of left-wing lunatic hysteria, common sense wins. All right, my Cordaro jeweler watch, and they've got all kinds. You got to go into this jewelry store on Spruce Street and Jefferson Avenue, Scranton. Caddy corner from the Radisson. Raymond Weil, Breitling, Oris, Longines, Michelle, Shinola, Luminox, Swiss Army, Seiko, Tory Burch, Victorinox, Bulova, G-Shock. That was one I was missing. I was just telling Alex that the other day. I missed G-Shock. Now I've got it written down. Amazing watch store. Yeah, well, that watch store and the Picardo Jewelers watch store tell me that the time is 10:01 and change. In fact, it's 10:02. That means we got to go to the news. But we'll be back. great good morning, everyone. My Ricardo Jewelers watch tells me it's 10:09 and change here in the great Northeast. This beautiful Wednesday, November 12, 2025. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he. It's a big day to fight for America, defend our values. And with the help of our man, John Basiliga, and his great restaurant at Terra 519, helping the UNC with 10% of your receipts tonight. We honor the brave who have made us and kept us free. People like the veterans we've lost this year, but celebrate today thanks to John. Like August Walzer of Orfield, Curtis Fertamico, West Scranton, and Norton Greening, late of Voorhees, New Jersey, but from Scranton and Dixon City. So with history, our great founding fathers, and the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America as our guides, let us continue today's battle. Gaveling back to order, this meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising a sanctuary of sanity for the balance of the morning. That's what we do. That's what we offer. Someone said it's the Festivus celebration, but no, it's actually the Club for Common Sense. And in the sanctuary of sanity, we are not kind with those who lie to us, those who are fools, and those who hate this country. We're just not, we have no gentility toward them whatsoever. Period. Hey, well, my man Rob O'Donnell, you know he's got the show 3 to 6 every day. It is beyond worth a listen. It's worth hanging around with him. And he is with us now. He's got a little story that he is into, and he is with us now, our friend Rob O'Donnell. How are you, Rob?
Thanks for having me, Bob. How are you doing today on this Festivus occasion, I guess?
I guess every day is Festivus. Somebody, one of the listeners told me, and I can't stop laughing about it. Well, Rob, you've been looking into a little bit of an instance of voter fraud. Tell us what's happening.
Well, while I was doing the show on Election Day, I started to come across information that there was a person working as the judge of elections in West Scranton that was writing their own name on ballots and telling voters to vote for them because they're doing the job of judge of elections anyway. One of those voters posted on social media and complained. I started seeing this. Both him and his girlfriend received these ballots with this pre-filled in name. Now, the bubble wasn't filled out, but the name was. And when he questioned it, the person working as the judge of elections says, yeah, that's me. I'm doing the job, so please vote for me. I reached out to the director of elections, Beth Hopkins, at Lackawanna County, not because of the incident, because this individual provided an email from Beth Hopkins that he complained and saying, hey, is it legal for someone working at the polls to fill out my ballot with a name as a write-in and ask me to vote for them? Her response, her official response to this voter who was defrauded was, we told her she can't do that anymore. And I found that more abhorrent than anything in this matter. And I asked her to verify the email. To this day, she has not responded back to me.
Stop committing election fraud. Oh, Lord.
Since then, I started digging into this because my concern is if this person working as the judge of elections continued, because there was about almost 3 hours left of the election when I was made aware of this and reached out to Beth Hopkins. If this person was allowed to work those remaining 3 hours and do her job as the judge of elections, which is collect, secure, and deliver the ballots that she was writing her name on, Bob, to the county office, I have a big problem with that.
It's like with a lot of these people, making it up would sound better than the reality.
Listen, the simple official response from the director of elections for Lackawanna County to this voter is, thank you for bringing this attention. We've immediately removed this individual. We're going to investigate and refer to the proper authorities. Now, we have since found out that they did refer this to the Lackawanna County District Attorney, and the District Attorney has a choice here. This could either be felonies or misdemeanor charges in this case. And we're waiting to see that, and I respect that investigation. But that does not negate the negligence of the director of elections, because if she's willing to admonish possible felonies and misdemeanors in this case, what else in the past has she admonished that we don't know about?
Well, it's ballot fraud, right? I mean, obviously.
It is tampering with a ballot. I've listed laid out the crimes, the specific crimes under election law. Again, it could be either a felony or misdemeanor, depending on which way the district attorney wants to go with this. But again, how do you? I mean, now that this person who was doing this was made aware by Beth Hopkins, because she said in her email that we told her she can't do this. What if she decided as she was securing this election after it was all said and done, oh my God, they caught me, I got to get rid of these ballots, and start pulling out the ballots that she wrote her name in? Now, the tally machine would show the discrepancy and differences, but she would still be facing the same felony or misdemeanor charges if she did that, and then all these voters would be disenfranchised because their votes would be missing. But this story even gets worse, if you could believe that, Bob.
Go ahead.
While digging into this, because it's my understanding that Beth Hopkins may have given take to her superiors who asked what went on here. She's been told that saying that this person was immediately removed, that she sent a sheriff immediately. That's not the case. My sources tell me that a sheriff was indeed sent and told her to stop doing this or she would be removed. So that's a big difference. And I'm finding out now that the assistant director of elections, the person right under her, was removed from office a few days before the election for misconduct in a county facility that was caught on camera that no one was ever told about, and to this day still isn't known to the public.
Fascinating. Well, you're going to hit all this today. You're waiting for some responses before your program, and you're going to take the story where it leads, right?
That's the way it goes, Bob. I've given the director 2 chances now. When the email was sent, this egregious email where, hey, we simply told her to stop, and now ask her to make a comment on the assistant director of elections that was removed if they'd like to make an official comment on that matter. If not, I have enough information to tell that story today at 3 o'clock.
Do they, maybe they don't know that they're dealing with a New York City detective?
Oh,
Did they forget that?
Yeah, that too. But you know what, Bob? If this information is coming across my desk, it has to be coming across other media sources, be it print or TV. And how they ignore a story like this, how they just say, we don't want to make Lackawanna County look in a bad light because of who may be in charge or who may not be in charge. This is news the people, the voters, the taxpayers need to know.
Rob O'Donnell Show, 3 o'clock today. He'll be exploring it even more in depth. Rob, thanks for the heads up on the whole story, and we look forward to hearing more about it at 3 o'clock.
I appreciate you having me, my friend.
All right, Rob O'Donnell, our 3 to 6 guy. It's funny. I mean, it's crazy, but it's true. I don't know. Well, we'll see. We'll see. And by the way, I like a lot of the people involved, but Rob's on the case, and he's going to stay on the case. We'll take a break on the Bob Cordaro Show. We'll return, a little music, a little history, but first, let's hear from our great sponsors. Craig Morgan, Paradise, and this continuing Veterans Day celebration on the Bob Cordaro Show. We're back, and something struck me this morning. I heard it on the morning show, which is a ridiculous apologist for Mayor Many Names, Paige Cognetti. Now, here's what the story is. This is absolutely incredible. Okay? It says neonatal ICU is set for GCMC, which is Geisinger Community Medical Center. Now, that's where the original neonatal center was, the NICU. My cousin Anthony was there for weeks and weeks, way back when, 30 some odd years ago. We lost that, and it's down at another Geisinger facility. They're considering opening one up here, which is essential. Now, it says Cognetti to propose zoning changes to aid future expansion of the CMC. She's the one who opposed it because the neighbors were up in arms, and I get it. It's your homestead. It's where you live. She opposed the expansion and the zoning changes. And everybody ignored it then, at least the lousy, horrible newspapers did. And now they're saying she's the one who's going to propose zoning changes, which she opposed before her election. You can't make this up. You cannot make up how phony Paige Cognetti is. You can't even make it up. You'd say to yourself, no, that's not possible. A normal person, you're sitting there. You weren't paying attention. You didn't know that Cognetti was pretending she was for expansion and we needed and greater health care and all, with pieces and her hands moving. And you would not know it, that she turned on them because of neighborhood pressure, voter pressure, and opposed their expansion. Now she's favoring it, and she's going to push it, and the newspaper prints it as though she's normal. Mayor Paige Gebhardt Cognetti confirmed Monday her administration is proposing zoning changes in the area to accommodate the facility's physical expansion and help address the region's pronounced health care needs. The administration's forthcoming proposal, now it should say right in there, which she opposed prior to her reelection. It's expected to be introduced as ordinances at Thursday's City Council meeting. It comes after a zoning battle in 2022 and 2023, which stymies Geisinger's previous expansion plans that were opposed by Mayor Cognetti and the three blind mice. Wow. By the way, just on a separate aside, three blind mice, our current council president, Smurl, Billy King, who's also leaving council, and Dr. Rothschild, doctor of physical therapy, Rothschild. They're the three blind mice. Now, I know Bill King to be a good guy, nice guy. I like him a lot. I've ran into people over the course of time and the election time said, Gerald Smurl's a good guy. And I said, you know what? I heard it from people who would know better. I don't know him. And I'm like, you know what? Good. You're still the three blind mice. So now when Cognetti proposes it, after being against it, are you going to be for it? We're going to see. It's just frightening how these things go. Oh, so let me bring something up to bring it down. actually up a huge level. November 12th, Mother Teresa, St. Teresa. She says, never get discouraged. The good you do today will often be forgotten by tomorrow. Do good anyway. Discouragement doesn't come from God. He is there always at our side, encouraging us. Thank you, Mother Teresa. By the way, a bunch of people telling me Mark Mayer, Mark Payne, and Murph saying we're off the air for hockey. Yes, we are. I meant to mention it, but it was mentioned at news at the top of the hour. If you're listening on the app, you're getting a hockey game. It's what they play maybe twice a year in the morning, and we've got a contractual obligation to go to them. So if you live here, you got to go to the radio. Otherwise, Bulldog, there's another app they could go to, isn't there? I've heard there's another app you can go to. Somebody says, Bob, this is so rude. You were right in the middle of speaking. We'll see. Any event. Bob, didn't Cognetti turn down the expansion for parking at CMC? Yeah, she's turned down their expansion. Oh, Lord. All right, let's go to Jake from Scranton. Hey, Jake, how are you?
Good, Bob. How you doing?
I'm doing good. As usual, confused as to.
I'm confused every day
I had
of the week.
no idea that Mayor Cognetti, in addition to having many names and being a left-wing lunatic, is a gymnast.
Okay.
Yes, she can flip. She can do backward flips.
Well, that's great. Yeah. That's great. That's good in the mayor. But the thing, people in this area keep getting exactly what they vote for, though.
Yeah.
Cognetti, and this was in the newspaper, in the Scranton Times, I think the last time she ran, where they were talking about Congress, was one of her major campaign benefactors was Bill Scranton III.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why would Bill Scranton III have money involved in her mayoral campaign when he lives in Waverly and has nothing to do with the city? And it's simple. He's one of her backers to get her into Congress. And, people don't seem to follow
I don't know if that's true, and I'm going to tell you why. And I know Bill very well.
Okay.
Bill is, and it's a whole Scranton family, but Bill and his dad in particular, whom I knew very well. They're just public-spirited people. They're sometimes wrong, and I'll tell you, I'll be surprised if Bill is not disappointed with his initial support for Paige Cognetti. But I'd let him speak for himself. But he would have done it out of public spiritedness. I guarantee it.
Okay, well, that's good to hear.
And by the way, when I lived in Dunmore, I was interested in the mayor of Scranton, very interested in that race, always, because I knew it affected me.
Sure.
You know, now that I'm a Scrantonian, I go out of my mind with it.
Well, you should have never moved here, Bob. It's just one of those things.
I love the people of Scranton. I just don't like the way they vote. And they're
well,
making me
Bob,
suffer with them.
We have a state rep who wants to have flying cars. And I heard that the other day on the news.
I know.
And I thought, you know what? We finally jumped the shark. It's done.
We have the Jetsons. Once this proposal comes out, our executive producer, Mr. Paul, has already sent to the Bulldog the Jetsons theme song. So we're ready for that proposal.
Could you imagine what the sky will be like? People can't even drive on roads.
I know.
Do you know what I mean? There'll be more deaths from falling cars than anything else.
Jake, now I'm 64. How old are you?
I'm 62.
All right. So when you watched the Jetsons then, right?
I love the Jetsons.
Didn't we think that maybe that we would be in flying cars by now?
Well, I don't know, to be honest with you. I remember seeing pictures of people who actually built flying cars.
Yeah.
And all they were cars with wings.
Yeah.
And they put a propeller on the back, and they looked kind of stupid.
James Bond,
but
yeah.
I wish it was the Jetsons because it looks kind of fun. Living in a building in the sky. That looks kind of fun.
I know.
But, well, I'm glad you threw that in about Scrantons and Cognetti because I had my own thoughts and, what you said makes a whole lot of sense.
I found Bill the third and the father to be incredibly public spirited people. I always, and I disagreed with them on certain things at certain times, but in the main, I always knew they were coming from a place of true concern for the city that bears their name, by the way, and all of that. And I think that's where it came from. By the way, in the beginning, I'm thinking I was not happy with her past record because she abandoned the Scranton School District when some tough votes had to be taken. In other words, she took the appointment and then realizing, oh, wait a minute, this could get rough. I might actually have to make decisions. She left the school board. And then but then I said, you know what? Looking at some of the people behind her, maybe they're right and I'm wrong. Well, I turned out to be right. That she was a disaster.
Well, it seems like this area has a way of electing people that like to quit when things get hard.
Yeah.
And which is another thing that absolutely makes me crazy, because it's all just people saying, he's a nice guy, I'm going to vote for him. I know his aunt, she's wonderful, I'm going to vote for him.
Yep.
And they don't look at what's happening to us.
Well, Jake, you know what? I came up with a saying that Frank Andrews and I used to say to each other when he would be coming in for the show. I said, hey, we are way past voting for people because we like them.
Yes, absolutely.
All right,
thanks for taking my call, Bob.
Thank you. Great pleasure. We'll take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. Let's hear from our great sponsors. We've got a Veterans Tribute, and then the weather, and then a little ditty, and then you. Our Veterans Tribute this hour and every hour, this day and every day, brought to you by our man John Basiliga. And today, we're featuring a Terra 519, the finest in fine dining anywhere. You got to go in to see the place and enjoy a cocktail and dinner, and you'll get what I'm saying. But on top of that, tonight, if you go, 10% of the proceeds will go to United Neighborhood Centers program, which feeds over 1,800 families with children on Thanksgiving. 10% of your proceeds, your dinner ticket, going to that great cause. Curtis Fratamico. He was 76 when we lost him October 29th. He was from West Scranton. He died at the VA Medical Center in Plains after a long struggle with the effects of Agent Orange. His wife of 50 years, Diane, she died in 2020. Curtis Fratamico was born in Scranton. He was a Vietnam Army veteran, having served in country with the 26th Field Artillery and received the Vietnam Campaign, Vietnam Service, Army Commendation, National Defense, and Good Conduct medals. He was a member of St. Peter and Paul Roman Catholic Church. He worked at Affiliated Foods as a dispatcher and retired as a manager for PennDOT. Curtis is survived by his daughter and caregiver, Renee, as well as his son, Peter. And Jason Zawadski, who was like a son to him. He's also survived by 6 grandchildren and 1 great-granddaughter, in addition to other nieces, nephews, and family members. A victim of Agent Orange, Curtis Fratamico. Our great veteran this hour, brought to you by John Basiliga and a Terra 519. 10% of your dinner ticket tonight goes to United Neighborhood Centers to feed the poor with children this Thanksgiving. Storm Tracker 16 forecast from meteorologist Ali Gallo. Today, cloudy with a few snow and rain showers, 44 degrees. Tonight, partly cloudy, down to 35. Thursday, some morning clouds and sprinkles, then sun in the afternoon, 46. Friday, partly sunny, 48 degrees. So I've been telling the Bulldog, this is one of these little, I told the Bulldog, I said, now Bulldog, I said, Nancy leaves the weather from the morning. Unless there's an update, no need to waste another piece of paper. But the Bulldog keeps bringing me this paper. Now, can you explain why you do that, Bulldog? Just out of curiosity. Okay, fair enough. Belts and suspenders, otherwise it would be a nightmare if I didn't have, yeah. All right, fair enough. All right, let's go to our little ditty that we have planned here. Oh, you don't have one? All right. So, yeah. Somebody says flying cars are going to be more like helicopters, not requiring runways, more of an upward lift. But Jake from Scranton brings up a good point. These people could barely drive cars. How are they going to be driving these machines? Now, by the way, there's going to be self-driving. A lot of them are going to have to be. But I truly hope that they get into public transportation here, although I like my own, a little bit. So we have autonomous flying planes, flying cars, whatever you want to call it. By the way, Congressman Dan Muser coming up at 11:05. We're looking forward to that because it's fascinating. We could get him to preview the 4 o'clock vote, the afternoon vote in the House to reopen government, and then talk about a lot of other things. Man, crazy stuff. Oh, by the way, and this is why, no matter what, as bad as the newspaper is, it's like a stopped clock. They'll have a great story. Do you remember when we interviewed our friend on Friday? I think it was Friday. And they had an event planned for this 100-year-old by the name of Hodorowski. Well, they have it on the first page of the paper. And that little event is highlighted, and I love it. And thank you. And his wife, Florence, is going to be she's going to be 100 also. And a beautiful picture, touching, beautiful pictures on the front page, and a nice story. So there you go. But see, then you got to take criticism. Jeff Horvath wrote the story about the neonatal story. Did he ask Mayor Cognetti, well, isn't this exactly what you opposed just a month ago before your reelection? Crazy stuff. Anyway, there's an event taking place, and our friends, Bobby Harrington and Mary Regina Perry, are involved with it. It is going to be benefiting the amazing Providence Pregnancy Center, and Jessica Frein is with us from the Providence Pregnancy Center. Jessica, welcome back to the Bob Cordaro Show. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
Well, fantastic.
Good, thank God.
You know, not everything goes my way, but other than that.
That's life.
I don't expect it to, so that's okay.
That's right.
Hey, tell us about this event. Give us the who, what, where, and when, and then we'll talk a little bit about Providence Pregnancy Center as well.
Sure. Actually, this is an event that was organized by Mary Regina Perry and Bob Harrington.
Mm-hmm.
And they put together the dinner for us. So we don't really have much to do with it other than we get to show up, and all the proceeds will benefit the pregnancy center. It's at Sternest. It's on Tuesday, November 18th at 6 o'clock, and it's an Italian festival. So it should be good. Its donations are $30 per person. There's a discounted cash bar, and then even all the tips at the event go to Providence Pregnancy Center.
Now, I don't know if Jessica, if you're an area native, but I've been going since I'm a little kid to Sterna's, and it is
really?
Truly one of the treasures of this area. So having it there for your benefit, and by the way, that's your hood too. You're North Scranton people, the Providence Pregnancy
Center. Yeah, we're in the hood.
Yeah,
that's right.
Absolutely love that fact. Well, Bobby Harrington and Mary Regina Perry, they're great people, and they'll always find some important charity. They do a lot of things for the Lackawanna Association for the Blind. I'm so happy they're with the Providence Pregnancy Center and helping you guys out. Tell us about this amazing facility up in North Scranton.
Oh, it's just growing by leaps and bounds. We have, our pregnancy center where we help moms who are pregnant, and then also, a lot of moms that have just given birth, so to qualify for our services, it's either you're pregnant or you have a baby under 6 months. But then we help with all the other children in the household as well. And we have a boutique where moms can come and shop and get for free. But they get clothing and diapers and car seats and strollers. And we have a social worker on staff to help with case management, to get them plugged into other resources in the community. So, we work with all the other local nonprofits that, to come together to kind of create a safety net for these moms so that they have all the support they need. We recently opened up our maternity home, Casa de Maria, which is it's actually the only maternity home in a 100-mile radius that allows mothers with other children to stay during a crisis. So
and that's huge.
Yeah.
Oh, is that huge?
It is huge, and we're getting inundated. So, it was a soft open with these 3 bedrooms, but we're seeing that we're going to have to expand fairly quickly because we're getting referrals from Monroe County and Luzerne County. Because when a mother's in crisis in a domestic violence situation or facing homelessness, they really don't have any place to go. There's some temporary shelters, but a temporary shelter doesn't help. If you're 7 months pregnant, there's no chance you're going to get a job between the time of being 7 months pregnant and, delivering your baby. So you need a longer term alternative, and that's where we're stepping in.
One of the things, Jessica Frine is with me. She's from the Providence Pregnancy Center. One of the things that you've stepped in is not only in prenatal care, but postpartum care for the mother and
Right.
child, and that was a gap. There was nothing there.
That's
Or
right.
certainly not
I
as
mean,
much, I should say. Certainly not as much.
right, right. It's funny because you hear a lot of kind of opposing opinions about what the pro life movement is about, and what we're doing here is actually everything that we're accused of not doing. We love the mom. We love the baby. We love the mom after the baby's born. We love the family. So we hope that through that we're helping build these mothers up so that they become more independent and they see that they have, people who really truly do care about them and their dignity. I mean, just recently, even yesterday, we had our first food distribution. So, and this is families that are coming to us that the moms aren't even pregnant. They're coming with their children, and we had an incredible outpouring from all private people. We didn't get any, food from organizations, but just private people stocked up our food pantry, and we served about 50 people, I'd say, yesterday here at the pregnancy center, giving out groceries. So, we'll do whatever it takes to support these moms in times of trouble.
Jessica Frine, how does someone get in touch with Providence Pregnancy Center?
Oh, you can go to our website is the easiest way, because from there you can get our phone number and email to contact us. It's ppcscranton.org. And we're always looking for volunteers in every capacity. So I always say that everyone has a gift they can share. So contact us if you're interested in becoming a part of this really grassroots organization that's local and it's helping local families. We would love to have you.
Absolutely love it. And next Tuesday, the 18th, 6 o'clock. Am I correct?
6 o'clock, yeah.
6 o'clock at Sterna's Restaurant up in North Scranton. A beautiful fundraiser, Italian fiesta. I don't know if fiesta is the right word, but Italian festival, whichever. The food will be good, I promise it. And the proceeds are going to go to Providence Pregnancy Center and all of the great work they do. Jessica Frine, thank you. And never hesitate to check in and just let us know what you're up to, okay?
Oh, you're awesome, Bobby. Thank you so much again. And as always, you're a great support. You're awesome. So thank you very much for all you do.
Thank you, Jessica Frine. Providence Pregnancy Center, doing God's work every day. Tuesday, the 18th, Sterna's, 6 o'clock. Nice. The great Toby Keith. The late great, sad to say, Toby Keith. Courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue as we continue to celebrate Veterans Day here on the program. Hey, let's go right to the blower because we only got a minute or so. Bill from Pittston, how are you, my friend?
Doing good. Enjoying your show as always.
Thank you. We're off for a lot of people, we're off because of this hockey game, but it happens a couple times a year. But go ahead, my man.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw recently, Pope Leo just gave a private audience to Robert De Niro.
Oh, my God.
And they were very chummy with each other, too, but all smiles, and De Niro was just falling all over the Pope. And this guy is not supposed to be very politically minded, which I challenge his honesty. Let's say I don't like him. I try to give him a chance. I'm not impressed with him intellectually or theologically, and won't go into that. It's too boring, too long. But anyway, the thing is, I'm not impressed by him at all. But he welcomes these people between him and Francis, like Whoopi Goldberg, Colbert, and yet they treat the vice president very poorly, in my opinion. But yet they're not political. And even with that Dick Durbin situation, where he said you shouldn't judge the man on one instance because of support for abortion. Look at the overall work
that statement was disgraceful by Pope Leo. I was really taken aback. One statement, an entire life of wanting to kill babies and more.
Yes. And he said, don't judge him by that. Look at the rest of his career. What? Keeping an open border so we could be invaded? Should we celebrate that? As I said, this guy is not impressive at all. He does have a political agenda, whether he says so or not. And just so you can look at his features in his face when.
Hey, Bill, maybe they should have made his brother the Pope.
I would have preferred that.
Yeah, I just don't look to the Holy See for guidance on political questions, and yet they keep intruding into an area where they are not only 100% wrong, but they are woefully ignorant of truth, fact, and reality. I don't get it.
And now he's welcoming Hollywood types to come into the Vatican. He wants to inspire them and help work to promote faith somehow. But they were all liberals on that again, and he was overjoyed from a guy that said he really wasn't that familiar with everything Durbin did. Come on, he's from Chicago.
Yeah,
he knows exactly what's going on. Either he's just ignorant or he's prevaricating.
Well, now let's give him some credit here. De Niro did play a priest in what was the movie set in Hell's Kitchen?
Confession.
Yes, that was a really good movie, and one of the parts I really liked him for. But yeah, he's become despicable. He really has.
One other thing. Do you see where Jack Schlossenberg is going to take Nadler? He's trying to run for Nadler's seat.
Yeah. Well, that congressional seat is lost to reality anyway. I mean, if they kept voting for Jerry Nadler, the people that live in that district are really stupid.
Yeah. But it's just following that whole thing, with New York liberals. And Schlossenberg's really, really odd. I saw some of his podcasts. Very strange guy. I don't think he's normal.
Well, you can't be too normal if you're a lefty. What are you going to do? Hey, we got to go, my man. But thank you, Bill. Always a pleasure.
Pleasure's mine. Thank you.
Bacardo Jewelers tells us that Bacardo Jeweler watch time is 11:02 and change. You know what that means? Time for the news with Brian Hughes. We'll be back after that. Great good morning, everyone. My Cordaro Jewelers watch tells me it's 11:11 and change here in the great Northeast this beautiful Wednesday, November 12, 2025. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he. And it's a big day to fight for America, defend our values. And with the help of our man, John Basiliga, and his great restaurant at Terra 519 downtown Scranton, which is giving 10% of the proceeds tonight, the gross ticket you pay, to United Neighborhood Centers and 1,800 families with children to give them a better Thanksgiving. And we honor in their name the brave who have made us and kept us free. People like the veterans we lost this year but celebrate today, thanks to John, like Curtis Fratamico, West Scranton, August Walzer, Orfield, and Norton Greening, late of Voorhees, New Jersey, but he was from Scranton and Dixon City. So with history, our great founding fathers, and the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America as our guides, let us continue today's battle. Gaveling back to order this meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising you that our commitment to common sense will provide a sanctuary of sanity for all of you for the balance of this morning. And speaking of sane, unlike AOC, he doesn't have to say that he's sane. He just has to be there, baby. And that's our Congressman, Dan Muser. Congressman Muser, how are you?
Well, Bob, I'm better now that I'm another day of participating in the Club for Common Sense. Great to be with you.
All right, so the madness may be ending today. They're projecting about 4 o'clock for that vote. Tell us what you know.
Well, what I know is I'm on my way. I'm about to head down to Washington right now. I'm in Clark Summit. We just had a beautiful, with the Summit Christian Academy prayer breakfast that Dave McCormick, Stacey Garrity, Rob Bresnahan, Chris Chermak, we all attended, and they must have had 150 people. Actually, it was an absolutely beautiful, beautiful morning. Young people, older people, staff, local community. And just inspiring. So I'm pumped, and I'm also pretty pumped that it looks like we will end this fiasco, this unnecessary, unbelievable calamity of workmanship by the Democrats of shutting down our government for absolutely no reason and receiving nothing for it in return. That has caused our air traffic to be less safe. All kinds of hassles for people. 1.3 million people haven't received a paycheck in 6 weeks. Our Capitol Police haven't been paid. SNAP benefits have been rattled, all because of Chuck Schumer and the Democrat leadership that thought somehow or another this was going to be a political, create political advantage for them, and never mind the pain on the American people. Machiavellian at its worst.
This goofy Hakeem Jeffries, I know you've got to hold back a little bit, but man, he's just an idiot. I'm not seeing any redeeming qualities in him. And, even after getting spanked on causing the American people, the government, all kinds of disruption and pain, he's still instructing his people, including a new member sworn in today, to vote against opening the government.
Yeah, it's absolutely unbelievable. Yesterday morning, I couldn't believe my ears when I heard that he was whipping his members to vote no. After all this, after the Senate's finally passed it, after all kinds of promises on the ACA, which is really just a red herring from their standpoint. They're making believe that's their issue, and I'd like to even talk about that a little bit. He's awful. No, I don't have to hold back. Yeah. Okay, I've never heard him say anything that's been the truth. He comes across as a decent guy, but he's not. And you want to know what? You never even heard me speak that way about Nancy Pelosi, because there was at least a backbone here. This guy just says whatever he is expedient. He doesn't tell the truth. And he goes beyond that. Forget about telling the truth. He just completely makes things up. as he goes, and his strategy is one that is damaging to the United States.
Are like I look at the Democrat congressmen who stand behind him whenever he's conducting an event. And I think to myself, are they as ridiculous as he is? Or do they just have a desperate need to be on camera? I can't figure it out.
Well, sadly, they have a desperate need to get reelected. And it's the tail wagging the dog. The extreme left now runs the traditional Democrat Party. And it's a shame. I don't want to see this. I don't want to have to negotiate with those that are utter extremists, asking us to gut the Working Family Tax Reduction Act, asking us to spend another $1.4 trillion, asking us to provide Medicaid, and this is all true, to illegals.
Yep.
That's what's being asked. And when they come out, as we all know, that, oh, my God, people's health care, that's what he was just on. I glancing at the TV, Hakeem was just on saying their health care premiums are going to spike. Whose health care plan exists? It's Obamacare.
Yes.
Obamacare has gone up 60% since its implementation, but that's just the short of it. It's gone up 60%, but it's gone up 150% in subsidy costs. So only 60% of it was passed along to premiums, which I say only, that's a lot, but 150%, $350 billion more than was projected for Obamacare. And since they put those permanent, and that's what the big question is, they had those temporary tax relief that went in for families up to $600,000 in income during COVID. They were implemented by the Democrats.
Which, by the way, Congressman Muser, I was pointing out to the audience, that was just an excuse. People didn't have massive increases in health insurance premiums because of COVID. They had it because of Obamacare.
Everything they did with Obama, and precisely. And here they are. You know what it's equivalent to? It's equivalent to an offensive coordinator of a football team who's been the offensive coordinator for the last 5 years, complaining 5 years later about the game plan.
And Democrats, only Democrats,
and blaming it on the other team or blaming it on somebody else.
But only Democrats voted for it to sunset. At the same time, like they voted for these subsidies to end.
They just simply count on more people believing their lies than people being informed of the truth, and that's the current situation. They got nothing else. They got no plans. They have fear mongering, and they have the pointing of fingers and the media to help them push the blame somehow on Republicans. All we've been trying to do is open up the government. The Senate voted 13 times. Every senator, Republican senator but one, voted to open the government. Every House member Republican voted yes on the CR, and a CR for crying out loud.
Other than Massey.
A 7-week CR. And somehow or another, they have the nerve. But let's face it, from MSNBC to CNN, many of them were calling him out, from Chris Cuomo to Jake
Tapper,
Sherman, whatever his name is, Tapper, stating that the Democrats are not telling you the truth. At least they weren't afraid to say it. John Fetterman, who's become the logical and sane standout in the current Democrat Party. John Fetterman, the virtually the lone member of the Democrat Party. Fortunately, he's from Pennsylvania. That isn't afraid to call common sense, and stand up to the extreme left.
Yeah.
And you know what? They want to run him out of town for it.
That's why I think it's good that you could come home to a prayer breakfast like you attended this morning, because I think you need to recharge after being in that muck and mire in Washington.
Well, it was inspirational. It was beautiful. It was just so, with the young people and them talking about how Bible-based studies and bringing God into being God-fearing and into morality and into their studies. And look, I mean, I think for the most part, everybody's God-fearing. Not quite, of course. But what we need to do is have morality that's higher than our own. And you know what? You've been talking, of course, Veterans Day was yesterday, And in the number of places that I went to, I said, maybe today we take a lesson from the veterans. The veterans didn't fight for the red. The veterans didn't fight for the blue. The veterans fought for the red, white, and blue. And it was always country over self.
Yep.
Okay? And hopefully we can start preaching that and practicing that in Washington, and not just like go for one side of the aisle, both sides of the aisle.
Congressman Dan Muser is our guest. He's going to be going back to vote to open the government in just a couple of hours. When you look at the amount of issues there are, it seems to me the Republicans are addressing, with the summit that the president is having today, with health insurance companies, with health industry leaders, with all of the major department heads that are involved with national health. He's trying to come up with an alternative to Obamacare, and we have to. Republicans have to be responsible.
Yes, we do. And there's criticism out there. Well, where's your plan? How come you don't have a plan? Look, in his first term, we had a plan. We didn't get to it primarily because we didn't have the gavel in the second 2 years. Nancy Pelosi did, and she wouldn't have given the president, if he cured cancer and every other terrible disease out there, she wouldn't have given him $1 for it. And that's the truth. But with what's going on, look, there are answers. We got to take steps. Okay, the first thing is what the president's saying. The funding that is going now directly to insurance companies needs to go to people. Nobody should argue with that. Because 1/3 of that money, it's now been shown, that insurance companies are just keeping. It's not going towards any healthcare services rendered.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And that's taxpayer money. And the other thing is that you can't have these sort of Affordable Care Act subsidies going to wealthy families of $500,000, $400,000. You know, that needs to be moderated. Those are two corrections that need to be made. But yes, over time, we need to go much further. But by steps, the American people have to buy in and understand what it is that we're trying to do. Like, I'm all for association health plans. There's no reason that in Pennsylvania you're not allowed to have association health plans. That's where farmers and small businesses can buy health insurance as a group. That was nullified. That was ended. That was terminated a number of years back. And I'll tell you why. Only for one reason. Because the Democrats want a single-payer healthcare system. They don't want individuals to be in control. They want the government to be in control.
It's always the Democrat solution, as I've observed, is that when the government screws something up, they just want more money to double down. Every time the government screws up, it doesn't matter the issue.
Every time. They want to double down on somehow or another more money's going to make a bad plan better. Doesn't work.
Congressman Muser.
It makes a bad plan worse.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy. Congressman Muser, thank you very much, as always, for coming on. Maybe we could have you on after the government reopens, because look at it. It is an ocean liner. It's going to take time to turn this thing around from what the Democrats have created.
Yeah. We are going to have to work out some of this chaos. The airlines are still going to be troubled. Hopefully it's over by the time they get their airlines back in order and timely by Thanksgiving. We're going to pass this thing this afternoon, and we're going to tonight. Actually, it'll be tonight, and we'll continue to go to work and do our best to overcome the hyperbole and the lies, frankly, with as much truth as we can provide, and hopefully create a level of information rather than misinformation. And you're a big help in that, Bob, as always.
Well, Congressman Muser, the thing that I've noticed is that the new Democrat strategy, which they used last time Trump was in office, is to create chaos, hoping that with the help of the media and their own lies, that they could blame that on Trump and the Republicans. Like, they're not trying to benefit anybody. They're trying to create chaos that they could pin on the other side. I don't see anything else.
No, because there is nothing else. And you sized it up exactly how it is, and it needs to improve because the Democrat Party is in disarray. You know, I said yesterday on Stuart Varney's show on Fox Business, it's a dichotomy within the party. half of them are mad at Schumer for not being extreme enough in keeping the Americans in pain, right? The other half was like, how the hell did he get us into this mess in the first place? That guy has terrible strategy. He's an idiot. So that's where they are. And so they have that battle within themselves. And they need to reshuffle the deck and, start doing the things that are actually in the interest of America, not in the interest of their storytelling.
Well, while there's something likable about Bernie Sanders, and there just is, I don't know why, but nothing likable about Chuck Schumer. I can agree with the left-wingers on one thing. They are idiots. Congressman Muser, thank you so much. Always a pleasure. Keep us informed, and anytime you've got something to get across and let the people know here, we're here for you.
Appreciate you very, very much, Bob. Thank you for the opportunity to speak throughout Northeast Pennsylvania.
Always
God
a
bless.
pleasure. Congressman Dan Muser, doing the right thing all the time. We'll take a break and be back. Our Veterans Tribute this hour and every hour, this day and every day, brought to you by our friend John Basiliga and his family of great companies. Well, one of the crown jewels of Basiliga hospitality, a Terra 519. If you haven't been there, maybe tonight's the night to go. It's not inexpensive. It's just value and top shelf. And tonight, fancy night out for a good cause. It's Feed a Friend night at a Terra 519, one of downtown Scranton's newest and most unforgettable dining experiences. 10% of every check supports United Neighborhood Center's Feed a Friend program, which will help them feed 1,800 families with children this Thanksgiving. Great night to do good by eating well. Norton Lafayette Greening. We lost him October 24th at the age of 94. He was from Voorhees, New Jersey, but he was from Scranton and Dixon City. He'd been preceded in death by his beloved wife of 65 years, Teresa, back in 2022. Born in Dixon City, graduate of Dixon City High School, 1949, where he played third base on the varsity baseball team. He enlisted in the U.S. Marine Corps 1951 and served during the Korean War in Japan as a supply sergeant. He then joined the Pennsylvania State Police. He wasn't done serving us yet. He worked in many roles, including fire marshal, during his 36-plus years with the great Pennsylvania State Police. Member of the Fraternal Order of Police, John Hancock Lodge. Mary Mother of God Parish at Holy Rosary Church, Scranton. Norton Greening was a beloved husband, father, grandfather, great-grandfather, and brother. Coached his son's baseball teams down in Green Ridge. Surviving are his 3 children, 6 grandchildren, 9 great-grandchildren, with another on the way, and a whole list of other family members. Norton Lafayette Greening, our veteran this hour, brought to you by John Basiliga and a Terra 519. Tonight, 10% of every check at a Terra 519 goes to United Neighborhood Center's Feed a Friend program. They feed 1,800 families with children this Thanksgiving. Storm Tracker 16 forecast from meteorologist Allie Gallo. Today, cloudy with a few snow and rain showers, 44 degrees. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 35. Thursday, some morning clouds and sprinkles, then sun in the afternoon, high 46. Friday, partly sunny, 48 degrees. We're back, and I've got a song I'm trying to play off my phone, and it was in an Instagram thing from one of my friends on Instagram, Stacy Toy, and I can't get it, but I'm going to get it, and I'm going to interrupt everything when I do. My friend, we paid tribute to another of my old friends, Wygowel. He was involved with the airport. and he was the business manager there. After a great career in the Air Force, he's going to be laid to rest. I believe he actually was already at. He died last year, and it takes time before they can get you into Arlington National Cemetery. But that means you are a veteran's veteran. And Weigall was buried there. And my friend John Tarana, attorney John Tarana, he says that he started employment at the same day at the airport in the early 90s. He was an assistant director, and John was an attorney to the board. When he told me that he had served as a fighter jet pilot in the Air Force, I asked what causes the most plane crashes. Weigall told John, he said, pilot complacency. He also said the three biggest wastes to a pilot are the runway behind you, the air above you, and the fuel in the tank back at the airport. Fascinating. John recovering, but back at work after some cardiac issues. So I tell John he's like a cartoon character. You know how they, like in one comic strip, they'll have their eyes with X's on them, and the next thing they're just normal? Yeah, that's John. Anyway, let's I also want to point of privilege, just to shout out my cousin Jude Portnova, his 63rd birthday in heaven today. And thank you, Tommy, for pointing that out. Jude Portnova, happy heavenly birthday to you, my friend. I'm going to find this. I'm going to find it somehow, some way. But let's first go to Mike from Duryea. Mike, how are you?
Mike from Duryea.
Yeah, I got it. So I said.
Yeah, how you doing? You know, everybody's talking about. Well, no, I mean everybody's talking about health insurance, right?
Yes.
You know, this and that. People need health insurance, but yet, do you know that the government? Let's take New York City. There's got to be 50,000 retired employees from a certain area, and they're getting. The government in New York is paying $20,000 a year for their insurance. 75% of the coverage is paid by the government in New York. That means 50,000. If you take a let's say a police officer, he retires at 35 years old, and now he's 55. That's 20 years of $20,000 per year. The government in New York is paying this individual.
That's why everybody's leaving. That's why everyone's leaving New York State, because they're insane.
Well, no, it's not just that. But I'm saying, though, is that...
Oh, there's a lot of it. That's what I'm saying. It's the whole philosophy of insanity in Democrat politics that controls New York State, New York City. It's nuts.
Yeah, I know. But what happened was that when I'm going to call it a private country club. When you're a fireman or policeman or whatever in New York City, let's call it a private country club. You're happy to get $20,000 in coverage. You're happy to get $100,000 after working 20 years. You're only 55 years old, and you're collecting all this money. I mean, who is paying for these people to relax in life at 55 years old? No, actually 35. They retired at 35 years old. Now they're 55. They're still going on with life, and it's crazy. I mean, nobody sees what the government is paying these employees. I mean, we're talking about health insurance for the average American who's working at McDonald's or whatever, but yet we're paying thousands and thousands of dollars for coverage that these people love. We'll call it private country clubs, I'm calling it.
Well, cops and firemen, I have less of a problem with it, frankly.
Well, no, I mean, but it's still that it's a private country club. And then if you're at 9/11, whatever it is, they're claiming whatever, that they have foot injuries because of 9/11. They retire early, and they're getting benefits from that. I mean, people don't see how much money is, and then they say, well, the budget's this, the budget's that. Even in Pennsylvania, how much are the state police earning overtime working on a turnpike? Hey, I will not travel the turnpike.
I will
just out of spite.
I will overlook some of that, if not all of it, as long as we go and find the money and take it off of the nonprofits and the NGOs, which are sucking $1 trillion a year out of the federal government.
But Bob,
we're not. I know, but Bob,
we're not.
There's so many places to cut. I just say cut it 50%, then we'll find out where to cut after that.
I know, but you know what it is that even it's costing us $15,000 a year per child to go to school. $15,000. What is too much? $20,000 a year to pay for kids? $25,000 a year? I mean, what is enough is enough. Right now in America, it's enough is enough.
I mean, don't disagree on. Let's get rid of the education department on the federal level first. Then we'll work on the state level.
Well, that's true.
And move it from there. Michael, thank you. Always a pleasure. We've got to take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We'll be back. Marine Corps 250th birthday. I found this little ditty. Watch out for the curses, Bulldog. You might have to zip something. I love that. I love that. Oh, happy 250th Marines. We're going to celebrate that. We need more than a day. for the veterans, for the Marine Corps. Are you kidding me? One day? And speaking of, let's go right to Wayne from Einan. How are you, Wayne?
Very good, Robert. I like that. Reminds me of basic training, that last one.
He's the guy who was an actual Marine drill sergeant who was in platoon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. That reminds me of basic training, though. How about that?
I get fired up every time I hear it.
I just want to thank you for your wonderful job you did yesterday. I didn't get a chance to call in or anything because you were so busy. But
well, we had to play a tape.
You.
We had to play. We were off, so that means
okay.
and I'll tell you what. I prove every day that I need everybody else here to do the show, but the whole staff was off, so I couldn't have done it if I wanted to.
Well,
but we played last
Jake,
year's. I'm happy that you liked it. I loved it.
Jake does a good job. I got to say that.
Yep.
Yes, he does. Yes,
well, don't forget about the Bulldog.
Everything.
Now, don't forget about the Bulldog. He's here most days.
Okay, the Bulldog. That's wonderful. I never got to talk to the Bulldog, but I wish him well.
You just did. You just talked to the Bulldog
Jake
when you
is
called
the
in.
Bulldog?
Yes.
Oh, no.
No. Johnny's the Bulldog.
Oh, Johnny's.
Yes, you talked to Johnny. Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, that's what Johnny Carson would say. Yeah.
Well, I think you can put the golf clubs away, buddy.
Well, they're still in the back of Big Lou. We'll see. I don't think I'm playing golf. If I get a warm day, I'm going to go have a few beers or go have a few cocktails. Yeah.
You missed your shot at the hole-in-one again this year.
another year of disappointment. Oh, so by the way, somebody pointed out Full Metal Jacket was the right one. Yes, thank you for that. Thanks for correcting me.
I think. Yeah, I
a number of people actually corrected
me. That's okay.
Yeah,
that's okay. I thought it was Full Metal Jacket. Yep. I just want to say thank you for everything you do for the vets, Bobby.
Well, thank you for your service too, Wayne. We appreciate it, man.
You're welcome. And I can't wait for this country to get back in line again.
Oh, we got a lot of work to do, Wayne, but we're not going away. We're not giving up, and neither are they. We'll see how it turns out.
I can see that.
All right, man.
I can see they're not giving up. I can't believe that.
But Cordaro Jewelers watch tells me 11:50 on the nose. Bless our troops. St. Cecilia Children's Choir, San Francisco. And we're going to finish today with what we ended with Monday. I'm sorry, with what we began with Monday, which is the national anthem, the Whitney Houston version. I remember it so well from the Super Bowl when our troops were ready to go to war in the first Gulf conflict. Hey, we got a minute, and Jim's always quick, so we're going to Jim from Harding on the Affordable Care Act that made everything unaffordable.
Why the Democrats always call it the gold standard of health care? Because they don't know how to spell pyrite.
What?
Yeah, fool's gold.
Okay. Sorry you're above my head with pyrite there, but okay. And I got it. It took a minute.
Yeah, they'll sucker you in.
I'm telling you, and I'm going to start playing that Barack Obama thing every day because people don't want to get it. I don't know why. It has failed. It needs to be replaced. And by the way, that's Republicans too. It has failed, period.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Like I say, that's why I call it the pyrite,
Well, you might have to, as long as you're willing to explain it to people like me, what pyrite is.
When you didn't understand it.
It took a step, but thank you.
I'm going to try to see if Joe Biden understands it.
All right. Thank you, Jim.
Hey, you have a good day.
Always a pleasure, my friend. Hey, just as we continue to celebrate Veterans Day, I want to mention our guys before the anthem starts. We paid tribute today thanks to John Basiliga and Basiliga Hospitality, a Terra 519, where 10% of your check goes to feed the hungry through United Neighborhood Centers, 1,800 families with children on Thanksgiving. That's tonight. Curtis Fratamico, West Scranton. August Walser, Orfield. And Norton Greening, Leda Voorhees, New Jersey, but from Scranton and Dixon City. God bless them. Our Veterans Tribute, Monday and Wednesday. Love it. And remember this as we start the national anthem. It's found on the Bloomsburg American Legion. What is a veteran? A veteran, whether active duty, discharged, retired, or reserve, is someone who, at one point in his or her life, wrote a blank check made payable to the United States of America and its people for an amount of up to and including his or her life. That is honor. Have a great afternoon, guys. God willing, I'll be with you tomorrow morning at 9. For now, though, we gavel to a close this meeting of the Club for Common Sense, closing with our song.